Well, we upgraded our flat screen TV. As always, when you usually upgrade, you're going bigger. So down in our family room, we went ahead and put a 55-inch TV. Well, I'm not going to wall mount it. I'm going to set it on a stand. The stand that we had, which was a 42-inch flat screen, doesn't fit this 55. I looked online for different TV stands, and I really liked the one I had because I built it. I built it out of pine, and it turned out very well. Looking for a pine that would match a lot of our trim in our family room, and there just wasn't anything out there, so I decided, I'm just going to build one. So I've got the lumber. I'm going to put doors on it so that the grandkids won't see what's in there. No touchy. I have probably here maybe $40-50 worth of pine. Then I have some scrap from a TV stand that had this paper sawdust type. All I need for that is just the floor of it, which isn't going to show, and then also the top. And kind of how I'm going to do it, simple TV stand. Here, I'll show it to you. Okay, I just made a rough drawing. I didn't go elaborate and figure out exactly because I have in my head the different dimensions. It's just going to be simple. We're going to have 3 doors here, and then this is all going to be open. The inside of all this is going to be painted black, so there will be no reflection on the inside with this pine trim. And then we'll have some black handles. This is where the satellite receiver, DVD player, and then we also have an older DVD recorder that we record sometimes off programs for the grandkids. So anyway, I'm just going to build it like that. And yes, I should mention that I'm not a finished cabinet maker. I built quite a bit of my furniture and mostly it's all pine, and figuring that will last, maybe 10 years, we'll do something different. Well, I still have that. Some of that's over 30 years old. I built it not long after we were married. And so it's still functional, but it was made out of solid wood, and it just really hangs together. But we haven't moved in over 40 years. So the furniture doesn't get abused if it doesn't get moved from one house to the next. So it tends to last longer. We're going to make this 5 feet by 2 foot. The two will come together, lapping each other. It's going to just be connected into a 90. Connect the top and the side together to anchor it so I can screw it together from the inside so I don't see any screws on the outside. This time I'm going to try it a little different. I'm going to use angle iron, and then I'm going to pre-drill holes in the angle iron, and then I'm going to bolt the side and the top together, but finish it with a piece of 3/4 inch square piece of wood that'll lay along there, and then that'll cover both edges, and it'll be the same. And that's what I did on the other one, and it looked good. I've got top cut, the sides cut. So now what I got to do is I got to cut all the trim around, and it'll be 1.5 inches by 3/4. And I'm going to start feeding in these 1x4s in here, and I'm going to cut about 30 feet. I'm making the piece that's going to go between the top of the cabinet and the next shelf. It's going to be just about 7 inches as far as the height. On here in the line that I have marked it in the middle, and I've got the glue down, and so then I'll just screw this down, and then this will hold this top together, and then also give me my space for the next shelf. One thing nice about Pine, if you make a mistake, it's not very costly. I cut some angle iron, drilled holes to put the wood screws in, and then I'm going to attach this. I just put a little glue along there. That'll help kind of just keep it stabilized when it finally dries. I'll go ahead and screw this on, and that will pretty much top part of the cabinet. And then I'll get the sides, get the middle two shelves that go along, then start assembling. I'm going to do the same thing similar to what I did to the top, to these two sides. I've got glue on here. I'm going to screw these on. That's going to hold the shelf, the two shelves, and then pull the sides and hold them tight for the top to go on. I've got the sides built. I've got the spacers for the first shelf. This is the first shelf. This was an old entertainment center. This was one of those particle board ones that you put together. I cut it down to make it like a shelf, so I'm going to attach it to here. Some glue down. I've got the marks. I'll set it down. I'm going to put screws right in, and that'll anchor these two together. Screw into this face here. When I frame it out on the outside, I'll take the router and round everything with a nice beveled on the edges. Okay, what I'm doing now is I decided to really make that flat black stick particle board shelving unit that they use with that paper, just to give it a nice sand down, just so the paint will stick to it. Well, I've got this all sanded down on the inside. I taped off where I don't want, if in case any of the flat black happens to bleed over or something, I don't want it to get it on places where I'm going to stain. I've got the flat black paint in the inside all done. The pine that I'm going to stain and varnish. And this is the back side. So I'll put a back piece against this painted black, but then also where I can get access openings to the cords for the satellite TV and the VCRs. Or boy, that aged me. The DVD players, they're almost going to be a thing of the past too. Okay, I'm going to need to cut some 45s with this radial saw. Just a little history. Not long after we were married, I bought this radial saw. So this radial saw is over 40 years old, and it still runs. Still does. I've done a lot of projects with it. I really like the flexibility of this style of saw. And I do have a chop saw that would work real well, except it's not here. It's at another project. Is this cap to go on this edge here, fill that in. I'm ready to just glue them in. All the trim and molding is on now. Now I'm going to take this 1x12 and I'm going to cut the 3 doors out. So I'm going to pick the sections that look nice, cut a rough size, and then I'll trim them, clean them up, and trim them to the correct size when I get the rest of the frame around the cabinet. All right, guys, a cordless Ryobi router. So I'm just going to go around all of the edges with this Ryobi, and the same thing with the doors. So it'll be a flush fit right here. All right, I have some light walnut stain that I'm looking for, just to give it a little medium type pine look. Just gonna let it dry. I'll put some varnish on it, then put the doors together. I think it turned out real well for what I'm going to use it for. I don't think I'm going to go into the business of it though. What do you think, Kobe? Huh? What do you think? You like it? Huh? Do you want to watch doggy videos on YouTube? Huh? Do you like watching doggy videos on YouTube? Yeah. Yeah, he gets a bark out of them. Well, I finally finished it. We got it into the house, and I'm going to show you my channel. No, I'm going to show you what the finished product looks like. We do like the pine look, and like I said, it's very inexpensive, and it fits very well with what we have down here. Didn't do a wall mount like a lot of people do. I've got a lot of cords coming down, and you have to hide those cords. And so this way it looks cleaner, and it's at eye level, so it works real well. So I'm pleased on how it turned out, and I'm glad you guys could be along, and stay tuned for the next video. Subscribe, comment. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.